What's up, guys? So today we are talking a little bit about goal setting. It's something that we should all do. It's something that majority of us probably don't do. Maybe, like me, you do it on the bigger things, the things that are going to take far more time and effort, but you possibly don't do it on the smaller things, which potentially is a mistake because after all, repeated success on the smaller things is going to lead to greater success in the bigger things. So what we're going to talk about today is goal setting in its basic form, and we're going to give you a little bit of a better understanding of what it is and how to do it. And then we're going to talk about secondary goals, which is somewhere where even when people set goals and they are good at that, they tend not to set secondary goals, which means that they fall off the wagon or they lose the progress that they've made, something like that. So we're going to start off with the SMART acronym. This is something that most of you will have heard of if you've done anything about goal setting. SMART. Each one of these stands for something with regards to goal setting and how to do it properly. We'll start with S, specific. The goal needs to be specific. You can't simply say, I want to earn more money. How much more money do you want to earn? Pick a number, write it down. That action alone, writing it down, is going to help your subconscious direct you in the right place. It will start to take action. So be specific. Pick a number if it is something like that that can be measurable. Pick a place, pick a time, whatever it happens to be. Measurable. Is it measurable? Is there a parameter with which you can measure your success on that? Is it somewhere that, in the case of, let's say, finance, I want to earn 15,000 euros more per year? Yes, I can do that. Great. You know when you've got to that goal because you are earning, guess what? 15,000 per year. It is measurable. Attainable. Is it something that's genuinely realistic to you? You know, is it something that you can definitely do? Is it realistic? Are you a 45-year-old mother of 4 who's never weight trained before in their life and decides that next week you want to be able to do a 250 kilogram deadlift? That's not attainable. It's not realistic. So make sure your goals are attainable. There's something to be said for that, because if you are setting unattainable goals, you get so many of these kind of pseudo entrepreneurs out there who say, think big, think this, think that. Guess what is going to happen if you constantly think bigger? Is yes, of course, aim high and you will still reach the stars even if you fail, that whole shit. But if you constantly miss your goals, it is going to rewire you negatively. You will start to feel like a failure. If you miss every goal you set because you've set it at too unattainable height, you're going to start to feel bad about it. So don't do that. Is it relevant? Is it relevant to you? Do you need to do it? Is it worth it to you? Is it the right time? You know, again, let's go back to the 250 kilo deadlift. Do you need to have a 250 kilo deadlift if you want to get better at table tennis? Probably not. There could be better goals. There could be more relevant goals for that. Okay, so you need to be relevant with your goal setting. It has to be something that you can do and that is right for you at that time or based on what your long-term, your end goal is. Finally, time. It needs to be measurable by time. You need to give yourself a deadline. Give yourself a reason to work hard and to work fast towards that end goal. Okay, so if we were to set a goal with regards to that SMART principle, using that as our base, using that as our driver. Very, very simple. We'll break it down into the metaphor that I usually use when talking about goal setting is going on holiday, right? Not many people know this about me, but I'm quite a talented artist. As you can see, from the little house in the corner to the palm tree and desert island up on top. So let's say we are going on holiday. The first thing you need to do when setting a goal is pick a start and end point. Your start point is where you are now. Your end point in this case is the holiday, okay? So here we have our end. It's specific because we've booked the holiday. We know exactly where we want to go. It's measurable because we'll know when we get there. It's attainable. I can afford it. I can get there on a plane. We have the wonders of modern technology. It's relevant. It's the right time. You need a holiday. It's something you want to do. Excellent. And you need to be there at a certain time because you've booked the flights, you've booked the plane, you've booked all of these things. Okay? Great. So we have our end goal. We have our start position right here. What we need to do in order to achieve that is we set realistic milestones. How do we know? How are we measuring whether we are on point with each thing? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is our first goal, our first milestone when we're going on holiday, we're using this as our goal, is to pack. You need to pack on time. It's stressful, you need to get your shit together. If you're a guy, you probably just throw all your shit in a suitcase, a couple of pairs of flip-flops, a couple of pairs of shorts. We've got it easy. If you're a girl, you're probably laying out outfits on your bed and on your floor, trying them on your cat for the next 3 weeks. But you know that you have to be packed and ready to go by a certain time with your passport. So you've set milestone number 1, which, let's say, with my beautiful artistry, is your suitcase. Okay, the suitcase is packed for the right time so you know when to leave. Then goal number 2, you need to get a taxi. Goal number 2, taxi. Again, the taxi is going to be turning up at a certain time It's relevant because it's going to take you to the airport. It's attainable, it's realistic, and it's specific. All of these goals you see with each milestone, you can reuse the SMART acronym, you can get there. So we've packed on time from our starting point, we've managed to get into a taxi on time. We know that our next time-based milestone, location-based milestone, specific milestone that is based on all of these is the airport. Okay, big old airport, and we'll put like a little plane there. We know, it looks more like a person than a plane, but you know what I mean. We know that we need to get there on time, because if we don't, we are going to miss our check-in. We're not going to be able to check in our baggage. We're going to miss the flight, and we can no longer achieve the end goal, okay? So we're hitting all of these specific milestones that we know we need to be in a certain place at a certain time with the right things in order to continue and succeed with hitting our end goal. All of these milestones. Thankfully, we've got everything done, got to the airport, we got on our plane, we then fly to our destination. Because we planned, we set out our milestones, we knew exactly what we needed to do at each stage along the way. They were specific goals, they were measurable goals, they were attainable and realistic, they were relevant to your holiday, and they were time-based. You hit all of the deadlines. That is how you got on holiday and you got to your end point. You achieved your goal by setting mini goals, which took you to the end goal. Now, that is one thing. There's one small factor that we need to be able to be aware of. That factor is flexibility, okay? Flexibility. We need some element of flexibility on this path. Why? Because life happens, shit happens. Plan for things to happen. Now, to put it in the most easy example, is let's say we're flying and then somewhere around here, we hit a big lightning storm. The plane, although it's still on the way to the end goal, is going to have to deviate its path to keep you safe and get to the end goal. So despite specific, measurable, attainable, relevant time, goals, deadlines to get to certain places at certain points in order to achieve your end goal, be willing to be flexible if something comes along. Ideally, plan for these things to come along, because the chances are they will. But when you are setting your goals, think about that SMART acronym, think about this metaphor, plan with the end in mind. So we start with the end goal, we work back. You know you need to be in every place at a particular time in order to achieve that, otherwise you're not going to get there. Now, we got from home, we got into our holiday. We reached our primary goal. What a lot of you then struggle with, and let's take this into context of training because that's why most of you are watching me. What we then struggle with, rather, is setting a secondary goal. We hit our goal and we lose focus and then we go back to square one. The best thing that you can do with regards to training, body composition, etc., let's say that for the majority of you, the aesthetic goal is your primary. I want to look a certain way. I want to have my abs. I want to do this. I want to do that. Now, the chances are once you've got there, there are still parts of your body you want to improve, which is where you should then redirect your efforts. Okay, that's kind of the quote-unquote bodybuilding way. Is I want to sculpt this. I want to shape this a bit more. So you can change your end goal and then change the checkpoints on the way there, as long as they're relevant and they're following the SMART acronym. If not, look at something you really enjoyed as part of this journey, you know? Did you really enjoy learning how to deadlift? Did you really enjoy learning how to squat? Do you want to get stronger? Do you want to run faster? Do you want to do all of these things? Think about the things that engaged you the most, that you enjoyed, that you really got into, and then set a secondary goal based on that. Why? Because when you enjoy it, it's going to be far easier to stick to and you're not going to lose focus moving towards your secondary goal. And you can repeat this again and again. Now, obviously, if it's financial goals, work goals, business goals, it's much, much easier because let's say you've earned $1 million. You say, do you know what? Next year I want to earn $1.5 million. The year after I want to earn $3 million. That's super, super simple resetting goals. But when it comes to your body in the context of body composition training, personal training, bodybuilding, etc., it can be slightly harder because you are looking at the body and, you know, things can be very, very subjective rather than objective. You know, I want better, bigger delts. Maybe you get them better and bigger, but they're not the shape you thought they were going to be. They didn't fit your vision, whereas $1 million is $1 million. $3 million is $3 million. It's very much more specific. So think about that when you're setting your goals. Set your primary and work back, knowing that you need to make the checkpoints on the way. Once you've achieved that, think about what you enjoyed, think about what you want, set your secondary goal. Okay, get there before you've hit here even, so you don't lose focus, you don't decide to take time off. My point is, the SMART acronym works. Have it there every day when you are setting goals for work, things, checklists that you need to do for the day, setting it for your body composition, setting it for family stuff, setting it for holidays. Then work out the checkpoints based on the same acronym. Make sure they are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based so you know where to be at what point in order to understand that you are on the right path. That is goal setting in a nutshell. I hope I haven't waffled on too much, and I hope this has been useful to you. If it has, like, comment, share, spread the word across your Instagram, share it to your Facebook so everybody gets to see it. That's goal setting. I'm Elliot Upton. This is UP Fitness.